If you've ever blamed yourself for not sticking to a diet, then this video is about to change everything. My name's Georgina Wright and I'm an intuitive eating counsellor and coach. I spent years and years hating my body and doing every diet under the sun, only to feel like I was ending up back at square one. Until I discovered intuitive eating, which transformed my life in every way, not only my health but the wider aspects of my life. And my hope with these videos is to help you and give you hope that you can achieve the same. So in this video, we're talking about diets and the fact that they don't work, and I'll explain why not, because your initial thought might be, well, of course diets work, everyone does diets. But the problem with dieting is it's everywhere. It's around every corner you go, so it's become really normalised in society. It's, conversations at home, it's conversations with colleagues about who's on the next diet. It's everywhere in social media these days. It's really hard to get away from it, and sometimes that makes it seem more normal than it is. But actually, diet culture is a multi-billion-dollar industry to date. And why is it a billion-dollar industry? Well, the reason why, and lots of studies are available to show this, is diets don't actually work. They've got a very short term success rate, and some studies show that 95% of people that pursue intentional weight loss by restricting food um, regain that weight after the first 2 to 5 years, and in some cases, actually gain back even more weight than they started with. So, as you can see, it's a real problem, and diet culture, the industry, is making a lot of money off people's insecurities and people relying on willpower. So, as you can see from the example I've given there, willpower is not a strategy for long term weight loss or health goals, really. Willpower is, a short term strategy, and it's really not a helpful one to apply when it comes to your health, as you might have seen yourself by the amount of diets you may have done now, where you sat there thinking, they're not working, it's my fault because I've got no willpower. And they just don't work. They're not set up, diets are not set up to help us achieve long-term health. And hopefully that's just given you a little bit of an insight into why that is the case. Dieting also, the more diets that you do, the more impact it has on your body over time. And again, there's some evidence out there to have a look at, that shares that it's called weight cycling. So the more diets you go on and off, that yo-yo dieting effect, that can start to have effects on your metabolism, your bone density, your cardiovascular health. So that in some ways can be more harmful than just staying at a slightly higher weight that is stable. So that's another thing to bear in mind. And the final point in this video to mention why diets don't work is because focusing on weight as the outcome of what you're doing with your food choices tends to really fuel that guilt restrict cycle, mentally and physically. So the more you focus on the scale, the more that starts to disrupt your trust of your body and trust of yourself. And then you end up where the guilt sort of sets in, and then that can create these episodes of overeating and binge eating, etc., which I'll go into in future videos. And the way out of this, the way out and the first step towards healing your relationship with food and looking at the work of intuitive eating, is to reject diet culture. So let's look at what you're surrounding yourself with in the media, social media, for example. Are you following accounts that actually make you compare yourself, or are you following accounts that promote weight loss and things like that? So one first gentle step could be just to start to review where diet culture is taking up space in your brain and in your life, and where could you start to put some boundaries around that to lessen the impact of it. If you take action on that, it would be lovely to hear how you get on in the comments below. And there's a free intuitive eating beginner's guide linked below as well for you, if you want to have a bit more of an explore of it and see if it's something that you might want to consider. Then yeah, the link is down below, and I'll see you in the next video.